succeed.
This man will be our hero, for fate will make him indestructible. His name, Captain Scarlet.
That voice. Those glowing rings. If your spine just tingled, welcome home. This British Supermarionation masterpiece gave us an indestructible hero, invisible alien enemies, and a flying aircraft carrier decades before the MCU thought of one. It was bold, it was dark, and it was performed entirely by puppets. Today we're unlocking 10 wild facts about Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons that'll make you see this 1967 classic in a whole new light. And stick around to the end for a bonus fact that explains why this show still haunts devoted fans today. Let's begin the countdown. Spectrum is green.
They're obviously hostile. Okay, Lieutenant, let them have it.
Number 10, the puppet paradox. More realistic, more problems. Here's some beautiful irony for you. Gerry Anderson tried to make his puppets more lifelike and accidentally made them less animated. After years of the bobblehead-style Supermarionation puppets in Thunderbirds, Anderson wanted Captain Scarlet and crew to have realistic human proportions. No more oversized heads and stubby limbs. His solution was relocating all the electronic components from their heads down into their chests. Clever engineering, right? Wrong. The new design created unexpected problems on set that drove the production team crazy. These sleeker, more realistic puppets were actually harder to manipulate and control during filming. They wobbled constantly, requiring the crew to clamp them down or tape them in place just to get usable shots. What should have been a breakthrough became a daily headache. The result? Puppets that looked more human, but often moved more stiffly than their cartoonish predecessors. The very realism Anderson chased ended up working against him. Sometimes the pursuit of perfection takes you backward. It's like upgrading to a sports car that won't start in cold weather.
Shut down motors. Maintain radio silence. Let's get out of here. No. Wait.
Number 9, the Angels. Fashion forward and fierce. Remember the Angel Interceptor pilots? Those 5 fearless women weren't just crack fighter pilots. They were runway ready while saving the world. The iconic Angels, led by the sophisticated Destiny Angel, wore uniforms that came straight from the cutting edge of 1960s haute couture. Sylvia Anderson designed their costumes, drawing direct inspiration from Pierre Cardin's revolutionary 1966 Cosmonaut collection. We're talking space-age fashion at its absolute peak, the kind of futuristic elegance that made these puppet pilots look like they belonged on magazine covers between combat missions. But here's what made the Angels truly ahead of their time. The squad featured multi-ethnic casting that was remarkably progressive for children's television in 1967. You had pilots representing different nationalities working together seamlessly aboard Cloudbase. No fanfare, no token gestures, just a diverse team doing their jobs at the highest level. Stylish uniforms and diverse representation, all wrapped in a show about puppets fighting invisible Martians. The Andersons weren't just making entertainment, they were quietly pushing boundaries that live-action television hadn't even attempted yet. Speaking of style, wait until you hear who inspired Captain Scarlet's voice.
Destiny Angel?
Immediate launch.
Spectrum is green.
Number 8, Captain Scarlet's suave secret. Ever notice something oddly familiar about Captain Scarlet's smooth delivery? There's a Hollywood legend hiding in that voice. Actor Francis Matthews provided Captain Scarlet's voice throughout the series, and his performance wasn't accidental. Matthews deliberately modeled his delivery on the distinctive Anglo-American accent of legendary film star Cary Grant. That debonair, sophisticated charm, dripping from every line, came straight from classic Hollywood royalty. Every syllable was calculated to evoke that same effortless cool. Think about it. An indestructible British agent who sounds like one of cinema's greatest leading men. The production team essentially created a puppet James Bond with Cary Grant's vocal swagger. Not bad for a marionette hanging from strings. This casting choice added unexpected depth to our hero. Scarlet wasn't just tough, he was genuinely charming. There was a warmth and wit behind that voice that elevated the character far beyond what the script alone demanded. Who knew puppetry could channel such old-school movie star magnetism? Of course, creating that kind of sophistication didn't come cheap.
Captain Scarlet. Whatever happened to Captain Brown may also have happened to Captain Scarlet.
Number 7. A blockbuster budget of its time. Captain Scarlet didn't just look expensive. It was genuinely, staggeringly expensive for its era. The series commanded a budget of £1.5 million in 1967 money. Now, that number might not sound earth-shattering today, but adjusted for inflation, we're talking roughly £34 million in 2023 terms. That made Captain Scarlet Gerry Anderson's most expensive production to that point in his career. This wasn't a modest children's program scraping by on Goodwill and gaffer tape. Each 25-minute episode cost approximately £46,000 to produce. For context, that's more than many feature films cost in Britain during the same period. Every explosion, every vehicle sequence, every meticulous puppet movement came with a serious price tag. The production was burning through money at a rate that would have made most television executives break out in a cold sweat. The money showed up on screen in the detailed miniatures, the sophisticated vehicle designs, and those elaborate action sequences. Anderson was essentially making blockbuster entertainment on a television schedule. But even with that budget, he still needed some clever tricks.
Cloudbase. Captain Scarlet and the President have ejected. Repeat, ejected.
Number 6. Gerry Anderson's clever Martian cheat. How do you write aliens on Mars when scientists are telling everyone Mars is probably lifeless? You make them invisible. In 1967, contemporary scientific thinking cast serious doubt on the possibility of Martian life. Space probes were sending back data suggesting a barren, hostile planet. Nothing but dust and rock as far as the instruments could detect. This presented a very real problem for Anderson's Mars-based villains. His solution was absolutely brilliant in its simplicity. Anderson made the Mysterons completely invisible. No bodies, no faces, just those iconic green rings and that bone-chilling voice. His reasoning was deliciously smug. If they did come up with conclusive evidence that there was no life on Mars, I could say, haha, yes there is, but you can't see it. That's not just clever writing. That's future-proofing your entire premise against scientific discoveries that hadn't even been made yet. The invisible Mysterons became far more menacing than any rubber-suited alien could have been. You can't fight what you can't see, and you can't disprove what was never shown. Sometimes, limitations breed the best creativity.
Destiny Angel. I have joined the M21. I should make contact with Captain Scarlet's car in a few minutes.
Number 5. The Mysterons, not your average aliens. Speaking of those invisible villains, the Mysterons weren't just unseen. They were conceptually unlike anything else on television. Forget little green men or bug-eyed monsters. The Mysterons were conceived as a collective of sentient computers, making them genuinely alien in ways that biological creatures couldn't match. Their thought processes, their motivations, their very existence operated on completely different principles than human understanding. There was no face to reason with, no leader to negotiate with, just cold, machine intelligence with a grudge. Their signature ability was called retrometabolism, or reversing matter. The Mysterons could instantaneously destroy a person or object, then reconstruct an exact facsimile under their complete control. Think about that. They could duplicate anyone perfectly, creating sleeper agents that even close friends and family members couldn't detect. This power transformed every episode into a paranoid thriller. Anyone could secretly be a Mysteron reconstruction. Trust became impossible. Colleagues, allies, loved ones, any of them could be compromised. The Cold War parallels weren't subtle, and they didn't need to be.
Lieutenant Green, contact Destiny Angel immediately and tell her to escort Captain Scarlet back to the carrier.
Yes, sir.
Number 4. From ally to enemy, Captain Black's dark twist. The Mysterons' most valuable human asset was once Spectrum's finest officer. That betrayal still stings. Captain Black originally served as the leader of the Zero-X mission to Mars. He was a decorated agent, trusted completely by Spectrum Command, the kind of officer you'd stake your life on without hesitation. Then everything went horribly wrong during first contact, and the Mysterons seized control of his mind entirely. His transformation into a Mysteron agent came with unsettling visual cues that young viewers probably still remember decades later. Black's skin gradually paled to an ashen gray. His voice deepened and took on the same echoing, otherworldly quality as the Mysterons themselves. He became something no longer entirely human, familiar enough to recognize, changed enough to terrify. The tragedy of Captain Black added genuine weight to the series. This wasn't some anonymous villain. This was a fallen hero, a constant reminder of what the Mysterons could do to anyone. Every appearance drove home the personal cost of this interplanetary war. He was proof that no one was safe, and that the enemy's cruelest weapon was turning Earth's best against itself.
Exactly as the film from the MEV on Mars showed it.
A Mysteron complex, and it looks near completion.
Number 3, Cloudbase's Battle of Britain inspiration. That magnificent flying headquarters didn't come from science fiction. It came from World War II memories. Spectrum's Cloudbase, an airborne aircraft carrier hovering 40,000 feet above Earth, was born from Gerry Anderson's recollections of the Second World War. He remembered the critical disadvantage RAF pilots faced during the Battle of Britain. Scrambling from ground bases to intercept enemy attacks cost precious time. Minutes mattered. Lives were lost in the climb. Anderson's solution was elegantly practical. Put your interceptor squadron in the sky permanently. Launch from altitude instead of climbing to it. The Angel interceptors could respond to threats anywhere on Earth within minutes rather than hours. It was a tactical insight dressed up as spectacle. Cloudbase combined real military thinking with spectacular visual design. That massive flying fortress became one of the show's most iconic images, a symbol of Spectrum's readiness and resolve. Anderson took historical lessons and projected them into 2068, creating something that felt both fantastic and strangely plausible. The man understood that good science fiction needs roots in reality. Without that grounding, even the most impressive visuals ring hollow.
Lieutenant Green,
Yes, sir?
start horizontal jets.
Number 2, the source of Scarlet's indestructibility. Captain Scarlet's greatest power was actually a gift from his deadliest enemies. The irony is almost poetic. Here's how it happened. The Mysterons killed Captain Scarlet and reconstructed him as one of their controlled agents. Standard operating procedure for them, the same process they'd used countless times before. But something unexpected occurred. After the reconstruction was killed again by Captain Blue, it returned to life with the original Scarlet's consciousness fully restored. Somehow, the real Captain Scarlet broke free of Mysteron control permanently. Even better, he retained their signature ability, retro-metabolism. Now, whenever Scarlet suffers fatal injuries, his body automatically reconstructs itself and restores him to perfect health. He kept their greatest weapon and turned it against them. The Mysterons essentially created their own worst enemy. Their ultimate weapon became Earth's ultimate defender. Every time they tried to destroy Scarlet, they only proved how thoroughly their plan had backfired. Their own technology made him unkillable, and their own aggression gave him purpose. You almost have to feel sorry for those sentient computers.
Lieutenant Green, give me Spectrum Headquarters, London.
Yes, sir.
Number 1, the "Don't try this at home" disclaimer. Television history has seen countless disclaimers and warnings. Few were as bluntly direct as this one. Later versions of the Captain Scarlet opening titles featured an additional voiceover by Donald Gray, the voice of Colonel White, delivering a stern message directly to young viewers. His words were unforgettable. Captain Scarlet is indestructible. You are not. Remember this. Do not try to imitate him. This warning became legendary among fans who grew up with the show. It acknowledged the fantasy while drawing a hard line at reality, treating young viewers with a kind of blunt respect that most children's programming wouldn't dare attempt. That voice still echoes in the memories of everyone who heard it. Captain Scarlet could survive anything, but the show never let young viewers forget their own fragile mortality.
Captain Blue of Spectrum. Pursuit vehicle A69, please.
Fast, please.
Bonus fact, a cliffhanger that never ended. Here's one final revelation that devoted fans debated for decades. The war against the Mysterons never actually concluded. Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons ran for 32 episodes before ending its original run. Viewers who stuck through every dangerous mission, every Mysteron threat, every narrow escape waited for the ultimate resolution. They're still waiting. The final episode was merely a clip show, recycling footage from previous adventures. No climactic battle, no peace treaty, no definitive victory or defeat. After 32 episodes of escalating tension and genuine stakes, the war of nerves between Earth and Mars simply continued somewhere beyond the screen, forever unresolved. For a show that invested so heavily in serialized storytelling and genuine stakes, this ending left audiences hanging in perpetuity. Captain Scarlet presumably kept fighting. The Mysterons presumably kept threatening, but we never saw how or if it ended. The screen went dark, and the war just kept going in our imaginations. From puppets that were too realistic to animate, to a Cold War nightmare broadcast in Supermarionation, Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons packed more ambition, creativity, and sheer audacity into 32 episodes than most series manage in a decade. Until next time, remember, the angels are standing by, Cloudbase is watching, and somewhere out there, the Mysterons are still waiting. This is the voice of nostalgia. We will be avenged. Spectrum is green.